Hi, welcome to the Reluctant Sisters podcast. I'm Sarah, I'm your host. Without my sisters, you can find me on Ravelry as SarahJG2 and on Instagram as Sarah Gotro. There's links to all of that in the Ravelry group. Yep, it's called, I think it's just the Reluctant Sisters podcast. Can't remember. Anyway, you can find us on Ravelry. Please join the group there. We've got a couple cals going on. We have a year-long Rhinebeck sweater cal that has been running since. Oops, sorry, earthquake. That's been running since January, and that will end October 31st. Rhinebeck is in October, and it's for any sweater. You don't have to be going to Rhinebeck. It's for any adult sweater. A limit of 2 entries. And we have a chatter thread and an FO thread there. And what else do we have? We have our regular running Reluctant Cal for May, June. And you don't have to be reluctant to knit anything in it. It's for anything. Whips are allowed. Anything's allowed. If you knit the item for someone else, so a gift, you can enter that picture twice for 2 entries. And I can show you what we have for the prize for that so far. We have 2 skeins of Shelter, Brooklyn Tweed, donated by Maria, Seductive Berry, on Ravelry and Instagram. This is 140 yards each of worsted weight, so 280. And it also is going to come with the bow hat, which is knit out of it. Takes 2 skeins. We also, the pattern also comes with a cowl option too. But this will be enough to knit the hat. This is, I don't think I said the colorway, it's tallow. And if you would like to donate a prize to any of our cows, let me know. You can private message me on Ravelry or Instagram. Oh, I didn't even say where I was from. This time I introduced myself. I didn't say where I was coming to you from. I'm coming from rainy and yucky southeastern Connecticut. Last week I think we had record heat. This time we're unseasonably chilly. It's been raining all week, but I think tomorrow is supposed to be nice. And today is Friday, May 26th. 2017. And let's see, I guess that's all the info. Oh, I'll go ahead and ask now. We have a thread in there with links to different tutorials, whether they're just on a blog or if they're a video tutorial on YouTube. I'm looking for, I haven't looked on YouTube yet, I don't think. Maybe I did, I can't remember, but I haven't been able to find a tutorial for a triangle zipper project bag. I'm just interested to make one, see if I like that style of bag. So if anybody has any of those, you can either, can you link it in, I'll make a episode or thread in the group for this episode, which is, I think, 21. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. I think this is 21. Either link it in the episode thread for this episode or in the tutorial thread, if you have any. Thanks. Let's see, I'll talk about podcasts I've been watching later. Oh, so speaking of cals, I'll go ahead and talk about her cal. I've been watching a lot of the Christy Glass podcast. She's on YouTube, and Christy Glass on Instagram. She's got a Ravelry group, and she's knitting a, I think she's calling it a Fedito cal. She is going to fade the Granito pattern by Joji Locatelli, and but you can fade anything, or you don't even have to. I think somebody said, she said you don't have to fade it, fade the sweater you're making, so I don't know if that means that you can just enter any sweater. but she's got that going on since we were talking about cows. And that starts June 1st, so next week. So I did a fade swatch, which is what I should have done for the Find Your Fade shawl I made, which I ended up frogging this week because I wanted this yarn back out of it for the sweater. I don't like swatching. I don't think anybody really loves it, but it's nice to see how your colors are going to work together. So this is the Uncommon Thread. I think it's Everyday Sock in the confetti colorway. I always want to call it cosmic for some reason. Then this next color is the Lolo Did It. I think hers is also called Everyday Sock in the Dowager Countess colorway. Then if you've watched for a while, you might recognize these two. This is Lammy Toes in her Moon Pie Merino in the Botanical Baddie colorway. And this is just some black I dyed. These two colors I was using in my Sizzle Pop shawl, but my dog snagged it and pulled it off the needles, and it's brioche, so I couldn't get it back. So I frogged it, and I planned on using it again, but I just think it's going to work perfect for this fade. It's funny how close these two colors are. I bought the Botanical Baddie way before I bought this. Lolo Did It, but they're a lot alike. These are popular colors. This right now anyway. But let me go ahead and show you what I'm going to knit. Let's see. Come on. I'm going to knit the, oh no, I can't even think of it. Puntilla. I think it's Puntilla. I don't know why it's not coming up. I've searched it 100 times. It's another Joji Locatelli pattern. If you've been watching for a while too, you know I really like her patterns. They're really well written and they fit my body type really well. I think this is the best picture of it. I've been wanting to knit it for a while. Anyway, so I don't know if you can see the black and around the bottom and around the cuff of the sleeve. I think it might be crochet, which I'm fine with. I know how to crochet. But I was thinking of doing it in these colors. I have plenty of over 1,600 yards. And I was going to do like hot pink around that crochet cuff. So I think that'll be nice. My gauge is off. I'm not usually off. I'm usually pretty right on with gauges of, you know, anything I knit and swatch for. But I'm one or two stitches off on that gauge. I'll tell it again when I start this pattern. But this pattern, she recommends 6 to 8 inches of positive ease, and I think I did the math right. Math is not my strong suit at all, but I think that if I make this size with a little bit tighter gauge, I'm only going to lose 2 inches of positive ease, so I'm happy with 6 inches of positive ease. That's more than enough to be comfortable. Alright, so let me put these out of the way, and I will go on to FOs, my finished objects. Look, I wrote notes. Hopefully that'll keep me on track and keep my fibro fog at bay. I finished these a little while ago, but I couldn't show you. It's a test knit, but now it was released this week. This is these are the Sagebrush mitts. That's by Knox Mountain. I think it's Yarn Company. Can't remember. But just search Knox Mountain and Sagebrush. They also did a cowl and hat pattern. So I did the mitts. I think I only used about 50 grams of the yarn I had. I had Cascade 220. I can't remember if it's the superwash or not. I dyed this yarn with avocado pits. It's kind of like a blushy flesh tone. It's like silly putty almost. It's not like as pink as a lot of people get, and that's why everybody wants to use the avocado pits for the pink, but they must be adding something to the mordant. But it's okay. I don't know if I'll keep them. They're nice and snug. I don't know if I'll keep them or if I will give them as a gift. But they're nice. So that is that. Then, oh, finally. Oh, it felt like the last socks I made from Mina Phillips New York Sock. No, Mina Phillips Sock Club, the New York collection. I'll put it right down here, what it's called. On the screen, you'll see it. Anyway, the April installment, I knit like really fast. What was that called? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So this is the May installment. They are the Union Square socks. And they just took me forever this time. I guess I was just distracted by other stuff. I did order sock blockers, I just haven't got them yet. I don't block my socks, but I think it'd be easier for you, or yeah, easier to see patterns that are now on socks if I had them. But it's a rib. So I think this would be really good if you're knitting it for somebody else and you don't know if you need to like do 72 stitches instead of 64. You could do the 72 and it would still be snug because it's a rib and it's a lace. So that might make it nice for summer or, you know, later spring when it's kind of warm for wool socks. You could wear these. And this is I knit my socks 2 at a time. I did these toe up on my, what did I use? Oh, I kept flipping back and forth to what needles I was using. I think I ended up using Knitter's Pride. Anyway, I use a 40-inch cable and, yep, magic loop. And I was right here on both socks 2 weeks ago. I used a contrast color for the heel because I didn't want to interrupt the stripe, and it's not this one obviously because it's not totally pink, but I just used my first Regia for that. So this yarn is that Lana, it must be Lana, I'm not sure, Cervinia. I guess this one, it's the Forever line or base. It feels like Opal and Regia. It's just a nice workhorse yarn. So let me see. This color is color 47, and it's 210 meters for 50 grams. Got this at a yarn store that's semi-local to me in Niantic, Connecticut called Twist. I guess that's it on those. Oh, I do a 2x2 rib with a Jenny surprisingly stretchy bind off. I do like 18 rows for the cuff. This might be a little less because as I was knitting it, I got kind of far and then I'm like, well, I could have kept up with the pattern because it's all rib anyway and had the pattern all the way up, but it doesn't really matter, obviously. 64 stitches. Oh, I did these a little shorter than I usually do, the leg all the way the length of my huge foot, but I was just ready to be done. I don't know why. The pattern is really cute, and the yarn, I like the yarn, but I don't know. Always ready to go on to bigger and better things, I guess. So, oh, and I have some spinning. This is Fondant Fiber. She has a website, www.fondantfiber.com, fiber with an R-E. She's in the UK. This is some MCM comb top, so you can see superwash merino, cashmere, nylon. Dakota colorway, 100 grams. I got 403 yards. I got 14 wraps per inch, which is a true fingering. So it's pretty. Some pinks, some pops, it has little pops of blue, which can be a little brighter than others. Look, there's a couple pops that were darker than the rest. And some little bit of minty green. This took a while to spin. I guess I just had a lot of stuff going on, you know, and your mojo wavers a little bit. Yeah, so this will be nice. This was a gift from Mina Phillip of the Knitting Expat podcast. She gave it to me when I went and saw her in New York in January. So that was fun. I liked it. I've never spun fondant fiber, her fiber before. I've used her sock yarn. Yeah, it's gorgeous. What else was I going to say? Oh, and I've never spun cashmere before. But I liked it. Let's see. I think that's all of my FOs. So now I'll go on to whips. So here's another pair of the Cervinia sock yarn. This color is color number 45. I just turned the heels last night. I picked these up after I finished my last socks because I need to take a picture of these socks and enter them into Mina's Cal. She's having a knit along for these. So this is where I was last time. These are 40 inch 2.5 millimeter, so US size 1.5 Addy sock rockets. These are some of my favorite needles, one of my favorites. They're a little bit pointy, they're not sharp, and they're very slippery, which is what I like. I don't like a drag on my needles. So this is, so you can see the colors a little bit better, the stripes. This is her Grand Central sock pattern. I've knit this before, but I really like it. And I think it works okay for the striping yarn. I think it works good. It's fun, it's easy, it's like a knit purl stitch combo. Really easy pattern to memorize. This is one of my acquisitions. It's a Moomin. I finally bit the bullet and got it. There you go. I'll talk about where I got those in a minute. So these are socks for a friend, which is nice because everybody's got smaller feet than me. So I guess that's one good thing. You don't really mind knitting socks for other people because everybody's got smaller feet. Okay, let me talk about this. This is my Camaro sweater. The pattern is by Tanis LaValle, or does she say LaValle? LaValle. I'm going to say LaValle with my Americanness. Oh, there we go. So I was on the short rows because obviously you can see the bottom has a deep V on the yoke. So you have to, she has you do short rows to kind of even that out and lower the back to be even when you start working in the round for the body of the sweater. And there's 5 inches of short rows before you get even. I was like, whew. Felt like it took a while. So this is where I was last time. So not too bad. The yoke is yarn that I won from Tanis Fiber Arts. I won one of her palettes in the Tin Can Knits Heartstrings Cal. So yeah, it's basically 4 skeins worth of yarn. It's 8 half skeins. It's gorgeous. So let me tell you what the colors are. This is in her, what'd she call it? TFA Pure Wash DK. And this color is, or this is all, it's called the Hot Purple Palette. Am I making you dizzy yet? So this first color is called Fig. tartan, lightning, garnet, sunset, orange blossom, saffron, and sand. Hopefully I wasn't too muffled talking into my arm. Yeah, I really like it. This yarn is gorgeous. I said last time, it reminds me, it has the same kind of squish as Madeline Tosh Vintage. This is a DK weight yarn, but it's got that nice round squish. And then for the bottom, the body of the sweater and the arms, I'm just using some Valley yarns. It's Webb's label. I think they're yarn.com. This is Northampton. They call it a worsted, but it's 100 grams and 247 yards, which is more of a DK. I got it super deal. I got it at Stitches United a few weeks ago. Yeah, I think it looks good so far, but I really want to start the other sweater. Now, what am I working on? I think that's, yep. And last but not least, I am working on, I think it's called Open Waters Shawl. I started that because I couldn't wait. I said I wanted to wait last time until I got my socks done, but oh well. Yep, Open Water Shawl by Melanie Berg. Pretty positive you can buy this by itself now on Ravelry. I got mine out of the Making magazine, Volume 2, the Fauna edition. And I talked about last time how I brought it to Staples office supply store if you're not in the States, and I got them to rebind it in a spiral binding so I could open it and lay it flat. Yeah, it's nice. It's got charts. It's a chart. It's really easy. I don't mind charts. So this is where I am now. This is the front or the right side. So you start on starting on one edge, and then you go down, increase for the body of the shawl and keep the border going. So I just got to the border right here. So first you can see that you increase the lace pattern, and then you stop increasing the lace pattern and you just increase for the body. Melanie said that she was inspired by like the white dots on a whale shark. This makes me think of barnacles. But yeah, it's neat. And I'm using Into the World. I think it's Pakoku sock. It's one of their semi-solid colors in the Pixie colorway. 100 grams, 460 yards. So it's 75-25 merino nylon. I'm alternating skeins. I have 3 skeins, so I'm alternating 2 right now, every 2 rows. And then when I'm down to like the 3rd skein, I think I'll just take from the inside and the outside of that last ball, just because otherwise you can get dark. You can tell where you changed it. There's like, because it's not a completely solid yarn, you can see. Sometimes you can get striping, or one skein will be darker. But like right here you can see, I think, see how those 2 rows are darker. So that way you can just blend in the yarns easier and make it look more uniform. I don't mind alternating skeins. I think that's all of my whips. Melanie Berg, Camaro sweater, Grand Central socks. Okay. So I guess right now I'll talk about my procurements. Not really stash enhancement this time. I do have some coming, but it's not here yet. So the first one I got, or well, I got them both yesterday at the same time actually, from the Woolly Thistle. Claire put in a button for me. I'm going to put it on one of my project bags. I think it's called Lawn. I think that's what Emily from the Fibertown podcast said. I don't speak French. My sister Adrienne speaks French. Not me. So it's from Norway, and I pre-ordered it with Claire from New Hampshire Knits. She's obviously in New Hampshire, thewoollythistle.com. She's got, it's mostly stuff from Great Britain, but she is starting to get some other yarns, I think, from either Sweden or Norway. Well, and this is from Norway, so it's not everything is from Great Britain, but it's nice because then we don't have to pay the shipping from overseas. She has a New Hampshire Knits podcast. I think it's an audio podcast. Claire. Yeah, so she had pre-orders for this. And that's what I did. So I'm going to bring this again to Staples and get it spiral bound. There are a ton of great patterns in here that I want to knit. Look at that. Sibyl. This is by Isabel Kramer. I think I'll knit it a little longer. I was looking at some of the project pages on this and it just seemed a little, I don't know, too cropped for what I would want. Really thinking about this. I don't know if it's Ujo, I'm not sure. It's a tunic. I don't know if I'd shorten the length, but I'd definitely at least do it the arms down to the elbow. I have some Brooklyn tweed in, what did I get, 6 different colors. I had to order the other 2 because I have 4 of the colors now, but it's not antler. Fossil. So I have like a white, a natural color going down to like postcard, blanket fort, thistle, and I can't think of the darkest, plume, but I thought that would look cool. Yeah, everything's got to be faded now, right? But that's the back. So I have to think about it, but I really like that. So yeah, there's tons of patterns. I think it's worth it. I don't usually buy magazines, but I love this and making a lot. And I got, last but not least, I ordered 3 of these. They came from Singapore, so you might as well make it worth it, right? She was having a sale. So I got 3 Moomin stitch markers. That's from Love by Little Map on Etsy. Yeah, she had sent me some tea. I don't know why I love Moomin so much. I've never watched the cartoon or anything, but I just think they're cute. And I guess that's all for that. Let me take a drink. Coffee. So I just wanted to talk about a couple podcasts. Let me see. New podcast, new to me anyway. No, I forgot how many episodes she has, but Hand Me My Knitting. I don't know if anybody's seen that. She's on YouTube. And she's in Canada. I can't believe I didn't write her name. Anyway, Hand Me My Knitting. I liked her podcast a lot. And then they've been around for a while, but the Fruity Knitting podcast, I started watching them more again. They've got some really great interviews. They just had an interview with what is Dennis is the last name. I think he says his name was Alex Dennis. They're in Australia, and his family is the family that bred the Polworth sheep, put the 2 Merino and something else, Lincoln, and made that breed. So, and the family is still on the original farm where they started. I think he said 1840s. This is how long his family's been on that land. it's a really, really great interview. The Fruity Knitting Podcast, they are in Germany. They're from Australia and they live in Germany. And yeah, they did like a Skype interview. Another really good one is the wool grader from Jameson and Smith on Shetland. That was a really great interview. Another one they did a while ago is they did an interview with Knit Sonic. She does a lot of color work, and she has a color work like encyclopedia and tells you how to take pictures of like buildings or, you know, trees, wildlife, and how to make that into a color work picture. So yeah, they have a really, really great podcast. Guess it's shorter all by myself. So I guess I'll say goodbye from this wet and yucky southeastern Connecticut. Thanks for watching. I know that my podcast isn't the fanciest, but I'm glad that you like it. And I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.